Hi, and welcome back. Well, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about COPPA, the Child Online Privacy Protection Act, and how it was going to impact YouTube content creators. Well, that got me thinking. Obviously, people are collecting information on children. They're getting it through targeted ads, and they're getting feedback from cookies. So I decided to do a little research and find out what these people really know, not just about children, but about all of us. And I thought, this is kind of interesting to me, and I figure it's probably going to be interesting to you. And if it's not, it should be. So, get into that when we get back. Okay, let's start with YouTube's parent company, Google. Do you have Google on your smartphone? Most of us do. So let's talk about what they know about us. For starters, they know everywhere you go. They can locate you using your cell phone. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, but I don't have GPS enabled and I don't have location turned on. They've got the information anyway. Maybe you're thinking, I go in and delete my location history. You're deleting it from your phone. You're not deleting it from their system. They've got it. They're keeping it. They can make it available to law enforcement if they, assuming they need a warrant. They can make it available to law enforcement if they have a warrant, but they've got it. Deleting it out of your phone, turning your location off, is not going to solve the problem. So, they know where you are. Okay, all your emails. If you use a Gmail account, Google's got every email. You delete it from your cache, they've still got it. Now, this is emails coming and going. I send you an email, you send it to me, they've got both of them. Obviously, they've got it even if you don't have a Gmail account, but you're writing to someone who uses a Gmail account. They got your emails. Let's see, where you shop. You go online, you do some shopping, you don't even need to shop online. All you have to do is go online and look up the hours of operation of your favorite store. How late is Stop and Shop going to be open? Is there a sale at Target this weekend? They know. Your hobbies. So let's say you check on the latest soccer scores, or you go online to find campgrounds in your area. They've got it. They know what you like and what you're doing for fun. Let's see, your phone number, your address. That's all going to be located in here somewhere. This is just information that either you are giving directly to Google or you are giving it to someone you've accessed through Google. And that's another thing. They know all of your third-party visits. So you go on Google, and from Google, you type in Target, and you go to Target's website, and you start looking at things on Target. Google's got that. So if Target has your address, which they might if you place an online order, Google's got your address. In fact, Google is one of the largest third-party trackers out there. So that means they're not just tracking you directly. They track you when you access another site from their site. So they got all that information. YouTube. Well, Google owns YouTube. You go on YouTube, you start watching videos, Google knows what you're watching. So, ooh, maybe we should all be careful about what we're watching. I like to watch Simone Yach. She is like the queen of the crappy robots, although I don't think that's actually the name of her site. I love watching this woman put together these bizarre little robots that put lipstick on her and things like that. I find it delightful. If she ever builds a robot that blows up the world, I'm probably going to be on somebody's watch list. But meantime, they know that. They know I'm watching the crazy lamp lady. They know you're watching me. And they know everybody else you're watching too. All your shared devices. Okay, I have Google on my phone. I have Google on my computers. In fact, when my browsers are set up, I invariably set Google as the home page so that when I pull up a browser, the first thing I see is Google, because I Google everything. That's invariably where I start when I'm going on the internet. So, of course, they've got huge amounts of information on what I'm doing. Let's see. Air travel. If you go online, and everybody's doing it these days, everyone's buying their air tickets online, and you do your airline ticket shopping through emails. They've got your entire itinerary, and here's the really spooky part. They're pulling it out of your emails. They know where you plan to go, and they know your correspondence with the people from whom you've bought your tickets. They know a lot about you personally from your profile. So they will know your age, or a close proximity to it. They don't know my age because I never actually give them my real birth date. They all think I was born the day John Kennedy was assassinated. Why? Because when people say date of birth, I throw in November 22nd, 1963, because it's a day I'll never forget. And consequently, if somebody asks me to confirm my birthday, I'm going to remember. They have a good idea about your educational level. They have a pretty good idea about what you do for a living, or at the very least, whether you work in a white-collar industry, a blue-collar industry, if you're self-employed. They know this. They can pull this from your profile. Let's see. All the sites you visit. Well, here's something interesting, and we're going to take a brief digression here, because a lot of you have asked me about what my educational background was. Well, as it happens, I went to college with a very famous actress. Now, she wasn't a very famous actress back in the days when we were in college together. We were not in the same class. I was a couple of years ahead of her, but we were in the same department. It was the Department of Communications and Theater. Now, she was an actress. She was in theater. I was a debater. I was in communications. So, I kind of followed her career because I was delighted as she became more and more successful. I thought, oh, isn't this nice? That's the little girl that I was in college with. We didn't hang around together, like I say, years apart, but I remember her. Pretty little girl with this massive smile. So, once a month at least, I go online to Google and look up how to get away with murder. Now, it's very lucky for me that no one I know has shown up dead under mysterious circumstances, because my Google search history shows that I have been looking up how to get away with murder for years. The fact is, it's just because I went to college with Viola Davis. But who knows if anybody would believe that that's why I'm looking up that particular topic. The fact is, everybody has things in their Google search that are either outright embarrassing, It's like, oh, I found a boil, and you're looking up boils, and do you really want that out there? Or in the case of How to Get Away with Murder, well, that's the name of a television show. And that's not, however, the first thing that comes to mind when you hear that's what I've been looking up online. Everybody has something that is embarrassing in their Google search, or potentially embarrassing. They know. They've got it. They're keeping it. And just unbelievable reservoirs of data over things like this. So, yeah, that's spooky. Oh, all your passwords. That's another one. I don't know about you, but I'm lazy about my passwords. I live alone. As a consequence, I tend to use the same password for all kinds of stuff. You want to log into my computer? Well, that same password's going to get you into my bank accounts. That same password's going to get you into my Gmail account, which means that Google knows how to log onto my computer and knows how to get into my bank accounts. So, this is one of those, oh heavens, do as I say, not as I do, because I am admittedly lazy about this. I do not change my passwords the way I should. They say you should change your passwords at least once a month. Just go in, get yourself a password, and then don't leave it hanging around. And that's where I get messed up, because if you're not supposed to leave your password written on a piece of paper, a Post-it stuck on top of your computer or something, how do you remember this new password? And there are systems, and I remember friends in the computer science department talking to me about this years ago, saying, create your own system. Let's say, for example, that your password is Jessica117, because Jessica is the name of your granddaughter and she was born on January 17th. They say an easy way to do it is code it out. Let's say Jessica is 4 years old and you should change your password once a month. So January rolls along, Jessica's 4, January is, so yeah, I'll do it with this hand so it stays in the camera. Jessica's 4, you're doing it in January, so that's 1. So 401, Jessica 117. Next month, 402, because it's February, Jessica 117, and on until you hit the end of the year. And then, whenever, that's right, we just established that Jessica's birthday was in January. Next year, Jessica's going to be turning 5, so it's 501, and on. It's not hard to come up with a system that is really personalized to you, very quirky, that other people cannot intuitively guess. But there are ways to create and save passwords that don't involve writing them down, things you can just hold in your head. So I would suggest that if you're like me and if you haven't changed your password in 5 years, that's me, go online, check out the sites that tell you how to create good, secure passwords and how to do this. And as I say, there are sites that will tell you how to create your own bizarre little system, something that's uniquely you, and you'll be able to remember them. This is so important, because if you have a Google account and you're using that same password across the board, like I am, somebody's got one password, they've got them all. One little tiny hack can throw your entire life into chaos. So obviously I need to take my own advice and do this, but I wanted you to understand that there are ways to create good passwords that don't involve writing them down on a Post-it, and sticking them, on the underside of the drawer where anybody would go looking for your password. Change your passwords. Change them often. And here is another one. Do you recognize this little guy? This is a little Google Home Mini. Oh, here, let me show you this. Because he is unplugged. So why is he unplugged? Because it starts recording the minute you say, hey Google, or whatever you say to activate this little guy. So when I was using this to play music, and I would say, hey Google, play some Benny King, you know, which is usually what I said, it recorded until I eventually said, hey Google, shut down. That could have been all day long. Now, in my case, the only information it's getting is me yelling at the cat, you know. It's like, that's my handbag, here's your litter box, don't make that mistake again. But for other people, people who are in relationships, have people at home with them, imagine the stuff they could be hearing you say. So, does Google know information about you? Oh my, yes. I'm willing to bet that for most of you, there was something I covered here in this video that you didn't realize they knew. And by the way, I'm just skimming the surface, because when they follow your ads and they follow you through these the third-party searches, you go to Google and you're searching for something else, they're gathering even more information. And you or I may not know how to interpret that information and turn it into useful data. But Google has computer algorithms. They know how to do this. And they can take a lot of ostensibly innocuous information and turn it into a profile. And there was a story that used to circulate in the law schools. And by the way, this is presumably true. It came from one of the law professors, about a man who found out that Target, and I'm not picking on Target, they're just on my mind. This was in fact Target, had been sending his daughter, his 16-year-old high school student daughter, advertisements for things like maternity bras, baby bottles, carriages and strollers and car seats. And Dad went down to Target irate. My daughter is 16 years old, he says. Are you trying to encourage her to get pregnant? Well, the upshot of the story, and most of you are there already, is his 16-year-old daughter already was pregnant. And Target was able to suss this out just based on the things she was looking at on their website. And it's things that we wouldn't think of, like fragrance-free lotion. It wasn't even things like prenatal vitamins or anything like that. Just something as harmless as fragrance-free lotions, or some of the other things that are recommended for pregnant women. So, unfortunately, you know, poor Dad had to eat his words. But they can use ostensibly harmless information, innocent things like your choice of lotion, to determine whether or not you are pregnant. Imagine what they could do with the access to your entire online history for a week. They know where you're going, they know where you're shopping, they know what you're buying, and they have computer algorithms that can put this together, and they can come up with a profile of you that might even be more accurate than the one your mother would write. So, be careful online. It's not just about information they have on kids. They have information on you. And frankly, the only reason that we have been less concerned about this, let us say, in the past, is because we've had it in our heads that none of us are really important enough for anybody to sift through this information. That's what I always thought. It's like, so what if law enforcement could find out where I'm going? I'm not doing anything wrong, so why should I be all that worried about it? Does it really matter if they know I'm going to the drugstore? Well, here's the thing. With the computer algorithms, it's not man hours or person hours. Let's not get sexist. It's not person hours. It's machine hours. And machine hours are like machine nanoseconds because they can filter through data like that. And it is valuable because this information goes to marketers who then use it to sell products, and money is changing hands. So we are no longer just tiny little cogs. We can no longer say, well, I'm hiding under the bushes because I'm just not important enough to be on anybody's radar. No, we are. This information is out there. There is, in fact, not a lot that any of us can do to secure this information. But there are some things. For one thing, you don't have to be honest when you create your profiles. And I would strongly suggest that if you have profiles, don't give them your real information. Just, do what I do. It doesn't have to be John Kennedy's assassination. Find yourself a different birthday. Throw it in there. Somebody asks for your address, make something up. Now, of course, that's going to be difficult if you're going to get packages delivered to you. But there are a lot of ways in which you can throw a monkey wrench into the system. And why is this important? All they're doing is targeting ads to you? Well, as we've seen, they're targeting ads to children, and I think we all know that's wrong. We don't want small children to be victimized. We don't want people to know their names, their addresses. We don't want this information out there because it could fall into the hands of the wrong people. But remember, it's out there about you too. So let's be cautious. Let's rethink how we're living our lives online. Anyway, I found this fascinating, and I thought you would find it interesting too. So that's the reason for this little digression today, what Google and YouTube know about you. And I don't know about you, but I have to say, I'm not real comfortable with it. Anyway, I will see you all tomorrow, and tomorrow is Sunday, so we are doing a project video. It's going to be a short project, so I'm either going to bundle something else in with the short project video, or it depends, I might actually do 2 back-to-back. Have a great day, and I'll see you all later. Oh, and be safe on the internet. Oops, guess what I forgot? After all that talk of how Big Brother Google is watching over all of us and storing our information and all kinds of other scary stuff, I think a little comic relief is in order. So let's finish up with English as she is spoke. And this is from our familiar phrases again. It go to brewing in dinner. If can't have that, who with difficulty? Foretell you truth. Speak seriously. One can believe you do. Como to this way. Why you not dress him? Why you come so late? How you is get up so late? Why you push me? Why you strike me? Take that boy and whip him too much. Take attention to cut yourself. Take care to dirt yourself. Since you not go out, I shall go out, nor I neither. I hope that made more sense in Portuguese. Put your left arm upon the table. Take attention to yourself. That may dead if I lie you. What tells him? What tells her? What have he told you? What have her told you? What do him? What do her? What you ask? Why you not answer? Why you know helps me too. What murmur you? Which is how push on you? Personally, I found most of those utterly incomprehensible. So let's hope we make out a little better next time. All right, see you tomorrow.